I have a spreadsheet, 43 rows. Every single one is a viewing I went to, a message I sent, or a landlord who ghosted me.
43.
43. I named the tab Housing originally. By week 6, I'd renamed it to Spreadsheet of Grief, and I never changed it back.
That's dark. That's really dark.
It's accurate. Welcome to episode 6 of Expat in Orange.
I'm Lars.
I'm Mira, and today, finally, we are doing the episode every single expat in this country has been waiting for me to lose my mind about.
The housing crisis.
The housing crisis. Bidding wars, broker fees, desperate WhatsApp groups, viewings with 30 other people standing in someone's hallway like we're queuing for a nightclub.
Look, I want to say up front, this isn't really a funny topic. It's one of the genuinely hard parts of moving here, and I don't think we should pretend otherwise just because the show is usually lighter.
Agreed. We'll find moments of dark comedy because that's how I survived it, but underneath it, this one's real.
It is. So let's start with your spreadsheet. Walk me through it.
Okay. Row 1, viewing for a studio in Oost. 40 people there. I arrived 15 minutes early thinking I was being proactive. There was already a queue down the stairwell.
For a studio.
For a studio, maybe 30 square meters. The agent did a single 5-minute walkthrough for the whole group at once, like a guided tour, and then said, if you're interested, email us your offer.
An offer for a rental.
For a rental. I learned very quickly that offer actually meant how much above asking rent are you willing to pay, and are you willing to pay a year up front?
That's not supposed to be legal technically. There are now rent control rules and restrictions on these kinds of bidding practices in much of the regulated rental market, but enforcement has been patchy, and a lot of the international rental market, especially anything aimed at expats, sits right at the edge of those protections.
It didn't feel patchy. It felt like the Wild West with exposed brick and a bicycle parked out front.
That might be the most accurate description of the Amsterdam rental market I've ever heard.
Row 2 through row 9 were all variations on the same theme. Viewing, queue, vague instructions to send your best offer, silence.
Did you ever hear back on any of those?
2, both rejections, no explanation. One of them I genuinely think went to someone who offered 3 months up front in cash.
That happens. It's one of the uglier parts of the system. Landlords or brokers informally favoring whoever can pay the most up front, even though a lot of that practice is now restricted on paper.
Paper being the operative word.
Yeah.
So can you explain to me properly why this is happening? Because from where I was standing, it felt almost designed to make people miserable.
It's not designed maliciously, but I understand why it feels that way. Here's the thing. The Netherlands has a genuine structural housing shortage. Population growth, especially in the major cities, has massively outpaced new construction for over a decade. Add to that very strict zoning and building regulations, which are great for preventing ugly sprawl, but terrible for fast supply.
So less houses than people who want them.
Significantly less. And then layer onto that international demand specifically. Amsterdam, Utrecht, The Hague. These cities have huge numbers of expats, students, and international companies relocating staff, all competing for a relatively small pool of available rentals, especially in the mid-range.
Which is exactly the bracket I was in. Not student housing, not luxury executive flats, just a normal one-bedroom for one normal person trying to live a normal life.
That middle bracket is brutally competitive right now. It's actually one of the hardest segments.
Comforting to know my suffering was statistically predictable.
I'm sorry, I know that doesn't help in the moment.
It's fine, it's fine. Tell me about brokers, because I want to talk about brokers specifically. I want to talk about Stefan.
Who's Stefan?
Stefan was a broker who charged me 1 month's rent as a finder's fee for a flat he showed me for exactly 4 minutes that I didn't even get.
Oh, no.
He took a deposit just to secure my interest in the viewing. I never saw that deposit again. I never saw Stefan again either, which honestly might be the bigger relief.
Okay, I have to say something here, because that specific practice, charging a fee just to attend a viewing or to register interest, that's been clamped down on legally. It shouldn't happen. There are real protections now around what brokers can and can't charge tenants directly.
Lars, I want you to understand. In the moment after viewing 15 flats and getting rejected from all of them, you do not stop to check the legal fine print on broker fees. You just want somewhere to sleep that isn't your friend's sofa.
That's fair. That's completely fair. I think this is the gap. The rules exist, but a desperate renter in a competitive market isn't exactly positioned to enforce them against a broker who knows that.
Exactly. Power imbalance dressed up as paperwork.
Can I tell you something, though?
My own brother went through something similar 2 years ago, and he's Dutch. Born here, speaks the language perfectly, knows the system. He still got bounced around for nearly 4 months before finding a place in Utrecht.
Wait, really? I assumed being Dutch gave you some kind of secret shortcut.
No shortcut. The crisis doesn't really discriminate by nationality at this point. It's just brutal for almost everyone in that price bracket in those cities. If anything, that surprised me too, watching him go through it.
That's somehow both validating and deeply depressing.
Welcome to the housing crisis, I suppose.
Should that be our episode tagline?
Maybe not the cheeriest one we've had.
Let's talk about temporary contracts, because that's the other thing nobody warns you about. I didn't even know what a title lease contract was until my second flat.
Temporary contract. Yeah, this is a huge factor. A lot of landlords now offer rentals on fixed-term temporary contracts rather than indefinite ones, partly because Dutch tenant protection law is historically very strong, almost too strong from a landlord's perspective. So some landlords prefer the flexibility of a temporary agreement they can simply not renew.
Which means even once you've found a place, survived the bidding war, paid your broker his ransom,
Allegedly.
even then you might only have a year or 2 years before you're back doing this entire nightmare again.
That's a real and valid frustration. It creates this constant low hum of housing insecurity, even for people who are otherwise settled and employed and doing everything right.
My second flat, the one I actually got, was an 18-month temporary contract. I spent the last 3 months of it doing the spreadsheet again. Tab 2, Housing, the sequel.
Please tell me that's the real name.
It's the real name. I'm not creative when I'm panicking.
Did tab 2 go better?
Slightly. I'd learned things by then, which is genuinely useful because I think that's where we can actually help people listening right now.
Let's do it. Practical tips. This is an important one.
Number 1 from me, get your documents ready before you even start looking. Proof of income, employment contract, ID, sometimes a guarantor statement. Every single viewing I went to where I had these ready immediately moved faster than ones where I didn't.
Number 2 for me, be very cautious of anyone asking for money before you've signed an actual rental contract. Viewing fees, registration fees, deposits just to hold your spot, these are major red flags. A legitimate broker or landlord shouldn't need payment before a signed agreement exists.
Number 3, expand your search radius. I was fixated in Amsterdam city centre for the first 2 months. The moment I looked 20 minutes further out, the competition dropped and the prices became almost sane.
Number 4, and this is a big one, join local Facebook groups and platforms specifically, not just the big international rental sites. A huge amount of housing here, especially fairer priced housing, moves through word of mouth and local networks before it ever hits the major platforms.
Number 5, learn the term huurcommissie, rent tribunal. If you ever suspect you're being charged an unfair or illegal rent, this is the actual government body that can review and rule on it. It's free to use.
Number 6 for me, and I'll say this gently, manage your expectations on space and price simultaneously. Coming from London or parts of the US, the size to price ratio here can be a genuine shock. Calibrate early so you're not heartbroken every single viewing.
I wish someone had told me that on week 1 instead of week 9.
I know. I'm sorry you went through all 43 rows of that spreadsheet.
Honestly, looking back at it now, the spreadsheet wasn't really about the flats. It was about how disorienting it is to want to build a life somewhere and have the most basic part of that, just having a door that's yours, feel completely out of reach for months.
That's a real honest way to put it.
It made me angry at the time. Now I think it's just one of the real costs of choosing to live somewhere new. Nobody puts that bit on the postcard.
No, they really don't. But for what it's worth, almost everyone who's been through it comes out the other side a little more rooted for having survived it.
Rooted. I like that. Better than spreadsheet of grief as a legacy anyway.
Marginally.
All right, thank you so much for listening to this episode of Expat in Orange.
If you've got your own housing horror story, your own Stefan, your own spreadsheet, we want to hear it. Tag us using hashtag #ExpatInOrange.
And subscribe if you haven't. It genuinely helps more people find the show.
Because next week, we are moving to something a lot warmer. A word that doesn't really translate. Cozy togetherness. Impossible to explain properly. Even harder to manufacture on purpose. We're going to try anyway.
After this episode, we've earned something gezellig.
We really have. Until then,
Tutsines.
bye everyone.